Welcome to our head and neck reset. And many of us have neck tension because of the way that we hold our necks most of the time. And most of the time, the way that we hold our necks is in this slouchy, somewhat head forward position. So here again, where you have the neck like so. And that weight of your head ends up pulling even your upper back, your upper spine forward, causing a lot of tension in the muscles that hold your neck or hold your head up on the shoulders. So what this reset is going to do is offer you a way to hold your head in better, happier alignment for most of the time in your everyday life, but also move and awaken the muscles around your neck so that you can hold it in that more aligned position with more ease. Okay, so let's start first with that sense of alignment in the neck. Okay, so what we're going to do is just check in and go, where am I, go into your most habitual way of holding your head. So pretend you're not trying to fix things. Pretend you're driving, you're not thinking, you're at the computer. Where does your head go? So let's go there for a moment. Where does it feel more comfortable, right? If you weren't trying to do anything, where's that default comfortable position? And take your hands at the back of your neck, and you're probably going to feel that there's some squishing at the back of the neck. So we're going to unsquish the neck is a good way to put it. So if you're standing, if you're sitting, just make sure you're in a comfortable position. And let's start with our head hanging. And when your head is hanging like this, there's nothing that you need to do. All you're doing is just letting the natural weight of your head drop forward. You're not pushing your head forward. You're just allowing it to hang here. Shoulders are relaxed. Now, lift your head up. All you're going to do is just lift the head. Okay. Lower your head again. This time, let's take our hands to the back of our head. So I invite you to take your pinky finger to the base of your skull and then spread your finger so that your index finger is at the base of the neck. I'll turn around and show that to you. So here's my pinky finger at the base of my skull. I'm going to stretch my index finger to the base of my neck. Right? So I'm trying to measure. It's a sense that you're measuring as much space as you can here to fit the full length of your neck. Right? Tuck your chin in slightly so you can really feel the back of the neck long underneath your fingers. Now let your head drop again, keeping your hands where they are. Pinky finger at the base of your neck or base of your skull, index finger at the bottom of your neck. Now when you sit or when you lift your head up, keep your fingers there. Don't try to change anything, but just lift your head. Let's try that one more time. Let your head hang, spread your fingertips wide away from each other, and then lift your head. What happened to your fingers when you did that? When you lifted your head, did your fingers come closer together? And if they did, then you're likely doing a little bit of a hinge and going into that forward head position as your normal, everyday, habitual default. Now let's try that. This is I love this technique, by the way. I learned this through Katie Bowman, fabulous biomechanics scientist, and it's such a helpful way to get a sense of what are my habitual patterns for holding my head upright. So let's try something now. So pinky finger at the base of your skull, index finger at the base of your neck. Now tuck your chin in and see if you can lift your head up without closing the space between the fingers. So that means you're lifting your head by trying to keep the back of your neck long. Oh, now that might have changed things. Why don't you do it before and after one more time? Lift the head. Okay, cool. You can see those fingers closing together. Let your head hang again. And how far do you lift your head? Can you lift your head without your fingers closing? And right away, you might notice some tight muscles here. Don't worry, we're going to address that soon. One more variation I want you to be aware of, okay? So let's hang our head again. Pinky finger to the base of your skull, index finger to the base of your neck. Now take your other hand to your chest and try to have your chest in a more neutral position. So you're not in a rib thrust, right? Your chest isn't lifting up. Try to keep it more neutral. And then same thing, lift your head up without closing the space between your fingers and lifting your chest. Are you even able to do that? So I'm going to try that. Now, for many of us, it's going to be hard. You're going to notice your chest wants to help lift your head, which also reflects how we hold our head and how we move our head a lot of the times, is that we actually often use our chest to lift our head, which plays into the tension, the created tension that we may have in the head and neck. So now let's release that tension, and then we're going to revisit at the end this fabulous alignment of the neck. Okay, so let's start with some circles, head circles, shoulders relaxed. Let's start with just side to side circles. So slowly rolling one ear to one shoulder, rolling other ear to the other shoulder. My arms are dangling down by my side so that they stay heavy. Good. Now, as you roll, you're going to bring your head back, but instead of just letting it drop back, which is really not fun for your cervical spine, for your neck, instead, lift your chin up toward the ceiling like so. So yes, you're letting your head hang back, but it's a big difference between plopping your head back or elongating your chin, right? So continue that circle, and every time your head comes back, you lift your chin up, circling around. Let's change directions. Nice and slow, keeping the mobility in your neck. Next time your head is back down, you're going to allow it to hang back down again. Observing any sensations that you feel in your neck this time around after circling a few times. And then tuck your chin in ever so slightly as you lift your head back up. Remembering what it felt like when you had the hands behind you and thinking about keeping the back of your neck long. Are you able to keep the back of your neck long? Good. Okay, now keep that chin tucked in ever so slightly, and I'm not talking about pushing that chin in because that's just going to create more tension. So everything is more of an invitation. Can I, rather than just forward like this or all the way back like that, where's that place of ease in between the 2 points? So that's just a slight chin, thinking about back of my neck long. And then I'm going to allow my one ear to drop over to one shoulder. Now what's interesting about this is that often, lift your head up again, is often when we drop to one shoulder, we end up doing some sort of a rotation. And that's going to be different for all of us. But now once you have your head over to the one shoulder, did you rotate up or down? Or can you correct that or adjust that and feel like your ear is over your shoulder? So it's more of a true lateral side bend instead of kind of going down or up. Trying to feel like both shoulders are even. Now, your head is connected to your shoulders, even though there seems to be that gap between them called your neck, but it's all connected. You have muscles connected from your skull to your shoulders and shoulder blade. So now we're going to work that connection here. Now, the opposite arm, you've got your head over to one shoulder. You're going to take your other arm here and stretch it gently away from your body. It doesn't have to be super high up. The angle doesn't matter at this point. Just gently pull your arm in the opposite direction from your body, from where your head is moving. Okay, now let's add to that, because also the angle of your arm is important. So, which means when I have my arm in external rotation, that's going to create some interesting awakening into the muscle tissues. When I have my arm in internal rotation, that's also going to work some interesting parts. So now let's go internal and externally rotate through that upper arm. All the while your head is relaxed. You're not pushing the head down. You're just allowing the head to hang to one side as you gently rotate. Nice. Now let's stay in the externally rotated position. Breathe there. You're welcome to change the angle. In fact, what you can do on your own time is spend longer here and start doing it from this angle, then up, and then up. Because each angle that you have your arm, you're going to notice that it wakes up different parts. Continue to keep the arm in gentle external rotation, your chin gently tucked in, ear gently toward the shoulder. Soften your jaw. So noticing that relationship between your arm and your neck. And I've got one last little thing for you to really notice that relationship. You're going to bring your fingertips down toward the floor. Now your palm is pointing out to the side, fingertips gently pointing down to the floor, and gently pull your arm out to the side. Hello. This is going to get into some of our places quite intensely. So now if you start to feel burning or tingling, then it's a sign that you want to back off a little bit. Give a little shake and then you can revisit. If you're not feeling burning or tingling, then keep breathing. One more breath. And then allow your arm to relax. Bring your head back to center and pause. Notice, how does one side feel compared to the other? Now let's balance that out. Come back into that easeful place where you can have your chin tucked in ever so slightly, feeling like the back of your neck is long. And then drop your ear gently to the shoulder. And did you do that rotation, right? So see if I can keep my chin tucked in ever so slightly, ear over shoulder. And then let's bring the opposite arm out to the side. Again, it doesn't matter one moment what angle you have your arm. Find an angle that works for you here. Softening your jaw. Good. Let's internally and externally rotate the arm. And as you do this, notice how the sensations, the experience of your arm feels at each angle. How does it feel when you internally rotate? How does it feel when you externally rotate? And then hold it in external rotation. When you do, by the way, the internal and external rotation, that's always an option. In all of these classes, at any point, not just these classes, if you go to real yoga classes in person with people, everything's an option. Listen to your body. If something doesn't feel right, then you don't have to do it. So as much as I think that internal and external rotation is wonderful, for your shoulders today, it may not be. Okay, so listen to that, explore and discover. Change the angle of your arm, maybe bring it up a little higher, bring it a little lower. See how it feels. And I always like to pause and put love into these places, these overworked part of our bodies. So especially our shoulders. Thank you, shoulders, for working so hard for me. Neck. Okay, now fingertips pointing to the floor. Try to get them to point back towards your body, including your thumb. Stretch your thumb out to the side and reach gently, lovingly. Pull your arm away from you just a little bit. Soften your jaw. And then release your arm. Bring your head back up. If it feels good, you can do some small or big shoulder rotations. Noticing how your head and shoulders feel now. One more time, let's bring our heads back down to the ground, hanging. Shoulders stay relaxed. And then tucking your chin in ever so slowly or slightly. Let's go back with the fingers. Let's take our pinky finger to the base of the skull, index finger to the base of your neck and tucking the chin in, keeping the space as best you can. You can even bring your other hand to your chest so your chest doesn't lift. How does it feel now? Are you able to bring your head up just a little bit more? Is there a little bit more ease? So let's pause, find that place of ease where you're not pushing and creating 12 chins. 3 chins are good, but pushing too much and having 12 chins is too much. Or that place of neck forward. So find your sweet spot right now. How can I bring a little bit more length to the back of my neck and yet still feel like there's ease in my neck, that I'm not straining to be in this position? Relax your jaw. There you go. You can do any of these movements anytime. I do those head circles daily. This neck stretch with the arm, delightful. And of course, it's all so that we can sit and hold our heads in that little bit more of a happier alignment. So think about that when you're at your computer. I know we tend to let the head go forward like that. Think about that when you're driving, for sure. We really let the head go forward when we're driving. So just as best you can, as often as you can, just do that little check-in. This is a mindfulness moment to see, what's my head doing? And can I invite just a little bit more length? Thanks, everyone.